Hey, what is going on, guys? SpikeBeat here. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about hate. This is something that has been on my mind a lot in this last couple of weeks. Something that I've been thinking about and breaking over and going over in my head until the point where I think I finally have a grasp on my opinion of it. Now, in the background here is gameplay of Fighter Squadron. This is a 14-0. I end up getting the Millennium Falcon, which is awesome. But the first person is absolutely a pain to do. But, anyways, also, kind of something I want you guys to comment down below and let me know about. So, I consider this 14-0 because I got 14 kills in total. And that's 5 of the player kills and 8 AI. Do you guys consider those to be different things? Or is that something that you guys are okay with me just referring to the grand total? Let me know down in the comments because I want to know. That way I don't reference it constantly as something that you guys disagree with the way I'm counting. But anyways, back to the topic of the video itself is hate. Now, starting off, I'm going to describe kind of the way that I break it up. Because I see hate as being two very separate kinds. There are two different areas of hate. And the one that you feel towards anyone in particular is huge. It makes it huge difference in kind of the way you're going to treat that person, the way their interaction with you is going to be, how you're going to react to them, and all that good stuff. So kind of the first kind of hate is the justified hate. This is the hate where someone did X, so you respond in Y. I think the biggest, kind of the most popular way I can look at this one is Inigo Montoya from The Princess Bride. My name is Amigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. The guy with 6 fingers killed this kid's father, so he hates this guy. There's a reason for it. This guy did something, so he hates him, and he treats him a certain way. He ends up killing him in the end. And it's kind of stuff like that. Oh, that guy hits your dog. You're not going to like him. You're going to hate the guy naturally. Stuff like that. That guy took my parking spot. All this kind of stuff. Anything where that person actually did something to you intentionally, or even sometimes it can be unintentionally what they did to you, as long as it's something that's physical, it's tangible, it's something that actually happened. Now, the other kind that I consider is the unjustified hate. The hate that's, oh, that guy, my girlfriend was talking to that guy, I hate that guy. Your girlfriend's ex, your boyfriend's ex, the person your ex dates after you, stuff like that. Those people who, they didn't do anything to really deserve your hate, but you hate them anyways. And mostly, this is the kind of hate to where nothing they do can make up for it. Like that guy who hits your dog or takes your parking spot. Oh, I'm so sorry, I feel so terrible. And they apologize and you can forgive them. Whereas that unjustified hate is that stuff where it's like, nothing in the world can make me like you. Because what you did to me wasn't something, it's not tangible. It's not like they broke something. It's entirely psychological. It's all in your head, what they did to you. So it's nearly impossible to get over it. Now, there are a couple exceptions. Now, famously, there's How I Met Your Mother, the TV show. How Ted was in love with Robin, and Barney ends up marrying her. Well, they didn't stop being friends, but there's still that part where you see Ted avoiding Barney because he's marrying the girl that he thinks he should be with. So there's that unjustifiable hate. That stuff that just in the back of your mind you can't get over it. You can't like this person because of that. So there are the exceptions. I have a really good friend who, his wife actually, they've been married for like 5 years now. But she was actually dating his best friend. And it was more of like they went on one date and she didn't really like him. But they ended up getting married and they were still all really great friends, which is one of those, there are exceptions to this. But generally speaking, you're not going to hang out with your ex. Your ex's new boyfriend or your girlfriend's ex or anything like that. You're not going to hang out with that person because you don't like them. You don't like the fact that they had something before you. And there are plenty of other little ways that you can look at stuff like this. Like the person who, I'm trying to think of other examples outside of like relationship wise. Like going to the store and that person grabbed the toy that you were planning on getting for your kid. Stuff like that. Which kind of, that makes it the unjustifiable. Now, looking at having these two different classifications of hatred, which one's worse? Now, I think that I hold very truly to the unjustified hate is far worse. Because it's something that you don't deserve it. You don't deserve to be hated because you didn't intentionally try to hurt that person. And there's very rarely anything that you can do. This unjustifiable hate is going to be stuff that's also where you get the racism, you get the religious wars and all that stuff. You get all of these places where the other person, they didn't do anything wrong. But in your perspective, they did. They did something horribly wrong, even though it's not justified. It's terribly illogical that you are judging them based on that. And this is something that you see. It's a really horrible thing in our world that you see everywhere. And kind of going off of that, there's this whole thing of, well, hate's a natural thing. At the end of the day, hate isn't something that we have made. It's not something that it's a developed trait in just particular people. Everyone hates people. Now, whether it's that deep burning passion, I'm going to destroy them, that's not always the case. Sometimes it's just that I don't like that guy. I don't like that guy is a totally minor form of hatred. And I think this is something that is definitely getting screwed up in our world today, is that we're identifying hate as being this terrible thing that we have to stop. And I personally think that this is something that's going to lead to a huge blow up here in either the near future, whether it's a year from now, 20 years from now, 100 years from now. At some point in the future, this whole idea that we can stop hatred is going to blow up on people. With all of the... Now, I don't agree with it. Definitely don't agree with bullying. But with all of this stuff where we're teaching kids that bullying's wrong, which it is, but we're focusing simply on the fact that it is wrong, we're trying to beat that out of kids, it doesn't work, because bullying is something that hatred, that evilness in people is a natural thing. You can't get rid of it. It's something that is just, it's naturally a part of us. It's naturally something that we have in us. So it's not something that you can get rid of. And this is kind of, it reminds me of Carl Jung's theory of the anima, or it's a part of yourself that is not the bulk of yourself. Kind of, the biggest example he used was in the dream world and dream interpretation of when you have a dream of meeting some woman, and this woman's telling you things, and you're talking, and you don't really understand you don't remember the words later, but you kind of remember the gist of what it was that was being expressed. And this is where the anima comes up, where it's not any woman that you've ever met, but what it actually is it's the feminine part of you and guys trying to tell you stuff. It's trying to get you to balance out, because generally these dreams are more often seen in the very macho, the manly man, the man who is, I'm a man and there's nothing feminine about me. The guys like that. And you get the same thing in women who are very, I'm the girly girl, I'm the girly girl, and they have the stream of a guy. And you get all this stuff. Or meeting this very wise person who just knows everything about you in your dreams. Well, that's really the part of your mind that's enacting the wisdom you have. And this is a huge part of dream psychology. Now, I think this totally applies to emotions wise, because you get the guy, especially, I think this is an older generation than what I would be classified with. This is more of your like 70s and back. But you get the guys who don't know how to tell their wife, oh, I love you. You get the kids who their dad never told them that they loved them until they were, heck, like with my parents, they didn't hear I love you until they were at least in their 30s. Took their parents and them that long to figure out how to say that they loved each other. And I think that this is something that you definitely see with hate. By teaching all these people, by trying to stop them from hating people, you're teaching them how to live wrong. And the reason I say that is because you are going to hate people. It's a part of life. You're going to die, you're going to pay taxes, and you're going to hate people. That is a huge part of life. Now, is hating people wrong? Yes. But the way you should handle that is teach your kids especially. Teach them how to handle hating that person. Because if you are going to hate them, it's going to happen. You're going to hate people. But if you know how to handle it, because if you hate someone, you should not kill them. That is never the answer. And yeah, that's never the answer. But if you don't like them, try to avoid them. But if you have to talk to them, be polite. Deal with it. Get over it. Kind of this stuff of teaching kids and people in general how to deal with these emotions instead of just trying to get rid of them. That's really what we're doing in a lot of these situations where, like the zero tolerance policies at school. We are teaching kids that you can't fight back. You can't stop these situations. Whereas simply if you had the bullies knew how to handle those emotions that they're feeling better, you would have less issues. If you had students who knew how to handle being bullied, you would have less of this issue. And really, it's all comes down to just that simple emotion of hatred and us trying to stop it instead of learning to control it. You don't teach a kid how to write. If they're a bad writer, you don't teach them how to write by not writing. No, you show them, okay, you can't write very well? Well, here's some stuff. This is how you deal with it. This is how you get better at it. This is how you learn to control what it is that you're trying to say. You don't just take them, okay, you can't do this. Take the pen away from them. Don't ever try that again. No, you got to teach them. You got to teach them how to do the things that they need to do. You need to teach them how to control those emotions they have, all the feelings they have. You need to teach them how to control themselves. This is why you get people who are committing horrible crimes and then they just plead insanity, or they basically are, which really comes down to they're blaming the fact that, well, no one ever taught me, no one ever stopped me from doing this, when that shouldn't be a reasonable excuse. No, you should be intelligent enough, you should understand, you should be conscious enough